It's still happy hour with John Gaskins, so go ahead, have another.
Just so happens, I don't know when we're placing this in our show, but our last chat of the day is with Dan Jackson, the head coach, on Jackrabbit Day here on Happy Hour. And do you feel like you're, at this point, 2 weeks before the first game, are you feeling like, let's just play the first game? Or are you glad there's 2 weeks?
As a coach, you're glad there's 2 weeks because you love practice and the preparation of it. Maybe for interviews, I'm ready for there to be a game because I'm ready to do like a post-game interview. I'm ready for somebody to critique a fourth down call or something, like talk some football, really get into it. A lot of the off-season questions turn into, not yours, but a lot of the same thing over and over.
I know.
We get into different
I try
topics.
to avoid it.
You do. You do a great job.
Yeah.
So anyways, no, we're ready for football, but at the same time, I think the next 2 weeks are going to be really critical to build the middle to bottom of our roster and continue to elevate the depth.
What are you watching for most as a head coach? I know it's a long list every single day. What are the overall things you're always looking for, especially closer to game one, when you come out here and evaluate?
Practice is a lot different in this role, and that was one thing I needed to get used to. It's first just how we're operating as a practice. How are we transitioning the efficiency of the time that we're out here? If we're out here for 90 minutes or 120 minutes, I'm really critical as to the amount of work we're able to get in, the structure of the practice, the drills that we're doing, the situational portions of practice, and I don't want to waste our coaches or players' time. So every minute out here, making sure that it's used effectively, and then it's the spirit and the competition of practice. To me, football's a fun, physical, tough game, and we've been getting after it, and we've had the most competitive practices that I've ever been around. I mean, our guys go and they get after it. So I'm paying attention to those things, and then I'm saying a lot of prayers to make sure no one gets hurt. So that's how my day goes.
For sure. And so look, I've always called this Kool-Aid season. Everybody's undefeated, but in those things you're looking for, what are you finding?
I think we have a really competitive football team. I mean, the guys love the game. They love each other. It's easy to see how close they are and how connected of a group they are when you watch them practice or lift weights or really anything. If you just were able to be at a team event, you would see it. And we've tweaked and adjusted the schedule quite a bit as well. I think you're seeing a team that's energized and not getting worn out. A lot of coaches and programs, I feel like, just do fall camp the same way it's always been done. We did a lot and we accomplished a lot this summer. And so we've changed the schedule a great deal. So I see a motivated, fresh, excited team that's getting better every day.
We've been asking you this throughout from spring into whenever we last chat, July, and now you've seen some August practices. So at this checkpoint, I know things are night and day different as far as how advanced things are because a lot of guys returned, and you don't have a lot of guys that just walked into the building a couple months ago.
Definitely.
But in what specific ways are you saying, like, wow, this is different and this is much more ready to rock and roll?
The standards are more clear. I mean, the expectations and standard of winning has always been here, and that didn't vanish a year ago. But as you're learning a team and as you're learning one another and you're learning a staff, and a lot of people are in a role for the first time. I was a first-time head coach. Our quarterback was a first-time starter. A lot of our guys were first-time starters. A lot of our coaches were first-time at South Dakota State. There was standards and expectations and things there, but they're just much more clear now. And I feel much more comfortable holding that standard of accountability every single day, whether it's with a staff member or a player. And so there's just a clear vision as to what we're doing. And clarity, I learned this: clear is kind. Unclear is unkind. And so I feel like the clarity in what we're doing is allowing us to have fun with it, too.
I bet. You mentioned up at the podium today in front of media and boosters at the luncheon, head coaching type of stuff. You want to be the most disciplined, most physical, most connected team in the country. You've already brought up the connected part. When you talk about disciplined, compared to your barometer, any football season, any football team, how close were you to being as disciplined as you wanted to be last year, and what are you trying to do to close that gap?
We were an F last year in terms of discipline on the field.
And in areas, what do you mean discipline?
Jumping off sides, getting the inability to run the ball came from being tackled for a loss, or not understanding the play, or going left when I should have went right, or not having a full understanding of a job. So we worked up to the wrong linebacker, and it was a TFL. Defensively, just the speed in which we played. We weren't able to anticipate plays defensively. I think we have a high bar here, and so when I'm talking about discipline, It's penalties, it's taking care of the football, it's sacks, it's doing all the things in our program, what we say, that take no talent. And there was too many times that we got in our own way last year, and it wasn't due to the talent, it was due to the execution, and that is not on the players, that's on the coaches, that's on the players, it's on the collective. But when I look at it this year, I would say that you can come to a practice and you won't see a guy jump off sides. You won't see. I mean, we've had officials here 8 times so far during fall camp, which is very unique for a school of our level. But that's because being the most disciplined team is a part of our identity. We're not going to just talk about something and not do it or emphasize it. We have officials here every day to help hold us accountable. So we've made big strides, and just being honest with you, last year wasn't good enough.
Right, and turnovers. I mean, this is a microcosm of. I went and looked through a bunch of stats, offense, defense, and overall things, and I tried to put it in the context of this team lost its quarterback and had a third-string true freshman quarterback. Was Jack
second-year player, but
second-year play. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 games there that went awry and sideways, and some of it you try to take that into account in the overall wash of stats. But I did notice. Third down, fourth down, turnovers lost, those are on the low ends of things. I guess I'll ask you, what metrics or stats did you look at and said, okay, we got to really improve that if we're going to win more games?
I think last year you could look at a lot of them and point out one specific thing, but the manner in which you play and the identity in which you play really is a trickle down into all of that. I look at red zone offense was something we struggled with early in the season and improved on. Well, then I have to look back and say we didn't practice that well enough. I didn't put them in enough situations to do that. And then even look deeper into the numbers and say, well, we weren't very explosive in terms of 50, 60, 70-yard touchdowns. Well, that helps, obviously, your offense. If you're 12, 13, 14, 15 play drives, you know what you are by the time you get to the red zone? You're tired. Okay, and so there was we looked at every area, red zone, third down, fourth down, offense, defense, tackling, sacks, whatever the stat is. We kind of went through all of them, honestly, John, and we tried to look at them deeper than just a statistic because it was such a unique year with so many different players in and out, the
injuries,
coaches learning each other, us not always being on the same page where it needed to be. And I say that off our standard. I think if you looked at most places, you'd say, oh, you guys did pretty good last year. But
understandable. But here's where it can lead to a question I was going to ask you in July, and it came to me now on this topic. How do you prevent? I mean, you can't necessarily. Well, you can prevent injuries, but you know what I mean. Sometimes kids are going to get injured, and it's going to happen. And you had a really good starting quarterback and a great receiver get hurt, and then and a good, awesome defensive lineman and Reese Kirschenman, and an awesome linebacker and Chase Ventol. Things are going to be different and tougher when you lose 4 players like that. Maybe it happens again this year, maybe it doesn't. But what kinds of things have you done or assessed in, for lack of a better word, things not falling apart for 4 games, to prevent that slide that you guys had?
Well, we've got depth, and so if you give us a year to build a roster, we're going to build a really good roster. And so the first thing, the way to be able to deal with injuries is to be able to have a second and third guy that's just as good as your starter. And we've got some high-level players on this team that are tough to replace, but I feel confident that now that we actually had a year to build a recruiting class, to bring in time to evaluate transfers, bring in the right guys, I mean, the depth here is something that I'm really, really proud of. And so it's building the competition for a couple things. Depth helps with your competition. So then it pushes everybody to be a little bit better. And when your starter isn't always – when he has to show up every day to keep his job, he gets better. And then the backup gets better. And so I like our depth. I like what we've added from that standpoint of it. We've also coached much better in the offseason. We started all the way back to ground zero with football 101s in January. So our players know what to do at a higher level. And then our strength coach only had 3 months with our team before last season. And so part of the injuries, him having an entire year now, every guy on our team is bigger, faster, stronger than they were a year ago, which hopefully that leads to less injuries as well.
Hey, you gave a big shout-out to Nate Morris up in front of everybody today. So
he's the best
conditioned team you've had.
Best conditioned team I've been around. They feel it. And it's not me. I could look at them and say, oh, these guys are fit. These guys are strong. We have the metrics and the numbers and the analytics to look at that. But you also just have to ask them. I mean, we've had guys that are 6th-year players or 5th-year players say that he has changed their life. And for a guy that old to say that and their ability to perform and confidence in play is really amazing. So I can't thank him and his staff enough.
What are you looking for most, last question, these next 2 weeks before the Stetson game?
I would say refinement and just continue to clean and be efficient on offense. We're going to in defense in terms of we're going to start moving the ball more and playing practice more like a game. So the first 2 weeks, you're installing certain segments. Today's a third down day, for instance, or a red zone day.
Yeah.
Now we kind of will be putting them all together into almost every practice, so they have to think and operate in situations. And then I'm really interested to see some of our first and second year players make a big jump the next 2 weeks.
All right. That's the overview. If you want to learn more about specific players, Eric Eisness, the offensive coordinator, joined us, and we talked to a bunch of them today. That was the macro. We're going to hear plenty more of the micro, but it's good to hear from you, and looking forward to talking to you. Hey, after some games, after some stuff that's on film.
It's almost here, buddy. I can't wait. It's going to be a good year. Great year.
Dan Jackson, Jackrabbit coach, here on Happy Hour.